Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to week 10 of the Playbook with Joey and Zach on WZBC AM Sports Radio. Hope this week has been a good one. I hope everyone's doing well. Tonight, we're going to begin by recapping the Beanpot Finals matchup from Monday night between Northeastern and BU and the consolation game between BC and Harvard. Northeastern and BC hockey will be playing a home-and-home weekend series on Friday, Saturday night, which we're pumped for and we're going to preview as well.
After that, we'll get into our thoughts about the Super Bowl 56, the matchup between the Bengals and the Rams, and how that went. We'll break down analysis of the game and the Rams' victory. Then we'll talk about the Celtics' current 9-game winning streak, which has been electric as a fan, and their moves in last week's NBA trade deadline. Had a couple of trades we're going to discuss. At the end, we'll discuss BC basketball's loss to Duke last Saturday at Conti, which was a good game for BC. Despite the loss, we kept it close within 11, I think it was. Tonight's game against Notre Dame, too, we're going to preview. So that game starts at 7, so maybe give you some live analysis, towards the end when BC is about 10, 15, 20 minutes into the game.
Absolutely, yeah. Should be a good one tonight. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so first game we'll start off with the consolation game for last week's Beanpot. Consolation on Monday night. BC tied Harvard 3-3. Actually, the first tie in Beanpot history. They didn't even televise the game for some reason. They always televise the consolation game, but for some reason this was the year they said no.
I mean, 4:30 start time was tough, and then as the game moved on, it got even tougher. BC jumped out to a quick 3-1 lead and never put one in the net after that. Harvard came back, tied at 3-3. Game was scoreless in OT. 3-3 finish. Underwhelming Beanpot from BC. Had high hopes coming in, even though we've been struggling. The team's winless streak has continued.
11-1.
It's tough to see.
11-1 in the last 12, so that was obviously tough. But, I mean, Dopp played better than he usually has. It wasn't a great game for him, but 32 saves and 35 shots is all right.
Beanpot, yeah.
32 saves and 35 shots is all right, although he has struggled all year. But Harvard got a big goal from Matt Coronado, who I highlighted. During our Beanpot special, even last week as well, forward Matt Coronado's had a great season. He had an assist as well, and also had a goal with about 5 minutes to go to tie the game. As I said, the first tie in Beanpot history, probably because they actually changed the OT rules. Where now it's a 3-on-3, obviously, and there's no double OT for consolation game and all that, and there's no double OT in general.
Makes sense for the consolation game, but I hate that rule change for the championship.
I don't want to shoot
I don't want to see the Beanpot end on shootout if it ever got to that point.
I mean, this game was backed up, so obviously that's why they didn't do a shootout.
Game 2 years ago, BCBU going to double OT, that was electric, and the fact that would have been a shootout if that happened today
it was stupid.
So disappointing.
Also lose on that.
I hope. I mean, a lot of people are outraged about that rule, so hopefully they go back on it.
We'll see. I mean, they probably just try to mix it up for the season since they had 2 years. Planning and everything. But Kobe Ambrosio played very well, added 2 goals. Liam Isaac actually had 3 goals in his last 2 games. He had 2 goals during the Beanpot consolation game on Monday, and then also 1 goal in Friday night's game against UConn. So he's been staying hot. 3 goals in the last 2 games. Hopefully that continues. BC could use that. And then Dopp, as we said, played a little bit better in the Beanpot, final as well. He did get 4 goals in the first one and 3 goals in this one, or 3 goals. Yeah, 3 goals and 3 goals. But definitely could have been worse from him. He's been giving up 5, 6, 7 goals some games. So
he stepped up in the Beanpot. I mean, only giving up 2 goals, and I mean the third one at the end was tough because there was no defense. But I mean, most of them weren't really his fault. The first goal kind of trickled in. They kind of got a lucky bounce off of him with no defense there from BC. So I mean, he actually had a good Beanpot. I thought. I mean, the way we played towards the end of the consolation game too, things got tricky defensively. And he still put up a solid game, only giving up 3 goals across in each of his 2 games. A lot better than what we've seen from 2 weeks ago when he played Harvard. He let in 6 goals. That was awful to watch. So
yeah, it was tough. I mean, he has 88% save percentage on the year, so it's not great. But I guess you'll take it. I guess with how bad he's looked at times. But BC will be getting back. Mark McLaughlin, he only played 1 game in the Olympics. And Drew Hellison, Team USA just lost last night to Slovakia 3-2 in a shootout. Once again, a shootout is deciding games, which I'm not a big fan of. But they gave a goal with a minute to go to tie it. Slovakia, shout out Bezo.
Slovakia was good at the end.
Slovakia played pretty well at the end of the game. I knew they were going to score. I mean, they were all, once they pulled the goalie, they were just ripping shots on goal.
Yeah, we had no defense at that point. Had to figure one was going to drop.
Yeah, you knew one was going to go. And then McBain obviously will be back. Jack McBain will be back after Team Canada lost 2-0 to Sweden. So BC, I'm not sure what the quarantine period's going to look like. Obviously, Devin Levi will be coming back from Northeastern as well, but they haven't said anything about if these guys are going to be able to play in the weekend series Friday, Saturday between Northeastern and BC. I'd imagine they're going to be tired and jet lagged. So they probably won't play. I'd
yeah, it's a
imagine.
quick turnaround. Got a game in 2 days, and they probably just came back today, realistically. So
well, Michael Lovin only touched the ice once, so he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Definitely might even play. So Hellison and McBain
coming all the way back
play,
from China, though, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is tough, but they're probably eager to get on the ice because neither one really
true.
played at all. Levi didn't even touch the ice, which is ridiculous. Although here's the thing about Team Canada. They would have been a better team with Devin Levi in there. I understand you want to go with the experienced guy and everything, but Devin Levi was unreal all year for Northeastern. He did struggle in his last 3 games. 3 of his last 4 games he struggled in before he went over to the Olympics. But you got to play Devin Levi, play the younger guy there. But, it's besides the point. I'm not rooting for Team Canada regardless, so it's all right. I'd be rooting for him, but not the team. Obviously, Team USA losing was tough game. I know Dan was psyched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was fired to see that game.
Slovakia, but...
solid games, though. Anyway, let's move into Super Bowl talk. So,
the Beanpot final. We didn't even talk about Beanpot final.
We can talk skis for a minute. Give a speech.
Yeah, I got to talk skis. Come on. I deserve it. Devastating game for Northeastern. 1-0 loss to Harvard. TJ Semptimphelter played very well again. 94 saves and 98 shots his last 3 games. It's going to be very hard to see what Northeastern's going to do about Levi coming back. I personally am going to play TJ Semptimphelter over Devin Levi. Levi, he was great all year, but his last 2 games he played at Northeastern, he gave 7 goals in just about 4 periods of hockey to UMass Amherst. And then also gave up 12 goals in his last 4 games before he left. He still has 95% save percentage on the year, which is impressive, giving up 12 goals in just about 10 periods of hockey. He saved 106 shots with 180 faced in those 4 games, 106 of the 118. But it's going to be interesting to see what Northeastern's going to do there. He's got 89% save percentage over the last 4 games, but it'll definitely be tough to see what they're going to do. Semptimphelter played great, was the Eberle Award winner for Northeastern. Obviously, was the Eberle Award winner for the whole tournament, but Northeastern's now 3rd in the last 3 Beanpots. Last 4, that is, actually 4. Northeastern's been raking up the Eberle Awards with Pantano getting 1, Primo getting a couple, and now Semptimphelter. But he played very well in the Beanpot, 69 saves and 71 shots. He's the MVP for Northeastern. I don't think you can take him out of the net with how well he's played.
He was lights out the whole Beanpot.
He's great.
I mean, shut down BC, shut down BU till the very end. So
yeah, 1 goal, and this is BU who has been hot all year. They've really turned it on since November, but they've had 27 goals in their last 6 games for the Beanpot final. They've scored 4 goals or more in their last 6 games, 6 straight games, 4 goals or more, including 6 on UMass Amherst and 5 on Providence. They're a very good team. They've won all of their last 6 games by 2 goals or more, except for that 4-3 win against Harvard last week in the Beanpot semifinals. So Northeastern's playing defensively for a reason. 29 shots a goal for Harvard is still a good amount, but Northeastern also had a ton of blocks, 19 blocks. They controlled the puck all game, BU, which was tough. They were just ripping shots, and it seemed like Northeastern's game plan was to play defensive and slow down BU's offense. They said they've been very hot. They haven't lost a game in regulation since November, 10-1 in the last 11 as well. So I think Northeastern's game plan was to play a defensive game. Not my favorite type from Northeastern. They can play defensive and also take shots on goal, but it seems like that wasn't their game plan for this game. They had 10 shots on goal in the 3rd period, which was nice, but 9 in the first 2, which was definitely tough. But as I said, Northeastern got a big decision coming up. Semptimphelter's been playing unreal. Levi was sensational all year. We know that. But TJ's been so good and he's hot. Jerry Keefe's got to make a big decision there. And I don't know what the quarantine's going to look like. Maybe Northeastern won't even have to make a decision for this weekend. And Semptimphelter's going to play both games against BC. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. He's only given up 7 goals in the last Levi gave 7 goals in the last 2 games, but Semptimphelter's only given up 3 now in his last 2. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, he's played great. As I said, 4 goals he's given up in 3 games. Played very good teams at BC, UMass and BU. So we'll see. 69 shots saved on 71 faced, and the Beanpot was electric. So it'll be a big decision between that. But Northeast's got to get more shots on goal. 3 from Aiden McDonough wasn't enough. 2 from Colangelo and 1 from Gunnawagon and 0 from Harris. You got to get more from them. And then no Justin Ritzkova was a big loss. Great face-off player. He wins just about 85% of face-offs he's in. So it's a big loss for Northeastern, obviously. But Northeastern doesn't have anything to be upset about. 3 straight Beanpot wins before this. 2 of the last 5 Hockey East championships. So heartbreaker, but got a lot to look forward to. Obviously a big game this weekend for BC and Northeastern. Both will be a good one, obviously. Northeastern's been hot in the Hockey East. BC's been a little bit slow.
BC's been struggling a lot in the Hockey East this season.
What do you think? What's a prediction you got for that game, BC Northeastern?
Let's
Both
go.
Games, Friday, Saturday.
Friday night, Northeastern at home. BC's been struggling. I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Northeastern. I would always take my school BC in almost everything, but the hockey team this year, lost interest in the way they played. Outside of the Beanpot was electric. So I would take Northeastern 4-2 Friday night.
Wow.
And then Saturday night in front of a home crowd. Home crowd will be a little bit different, but that being said, the energy has been low from BC hockey this year. My energy for BC hockey this year has been low. I feel like the school is more turning toward basketball this season. We've had a couple exciting close games. Close game against Duke last weekend was a lot of fun. So we'll see how the crowd is. I don't think it'll be bad, but Saturday nights are also generally worse than Friday nights in terms of attendance. But I think BC can still pull it off. Liam Isaac's a guy who stepped up. Wouldn't be surprised to see him continue his hot streak and put in another goal. Hopefully the return of guys like McLaughlin and Hellison as well. And putting that all together, I think BC can pull off a win 3-2, 4-3. Call it 3-2. So that's my prediction for this weekend.
That'll be interesting. I mean, Northeastern's coming off, obviously, the Beanpot final loss to BU, which was tough, 1-0, but they got to come off a good 4-2 win at UMass Lowell on Friday night. Last Friday night, right before the Beanpot final. Me and Mark Walsh actually attended that game. Sick game. Got to see a couple good goals. 4-2. Northeastern won that game. Very good game for Northeastern, shots on goal-wise. Northeastern, they're very good in the power play, and only having 21 seconds of power play in that Beanpot final. Obviously, Harris had the penalty just at the end of the second period, which was tough. But in the first period, that was. But having a penalty within that last 2 minutes kind of killed Northeastern because they were going to start ripping shots and going for the end of the period, and then that kind of killed all the momentum, and the game plan was just to try to kill the power play that BU was going to get for those 21 seconds. But BC, obviously, if they get McLaughlin back, that'll be big, and Hellison, McBain, all big. And BC's only got 2 home games left after this, so as you said, the crowd probably doesn't have many more games to see. But 5-10-3 in the Hockey East with BC. They got to start putting wins together if they want to compete. There's still some time left, but not enough to obviously turn the full season around unless you're going to win the Hockey East. That's the only chance to get into the tournament.
Yeah, that's a tough bid right now. But you never know. Game. I mean, single elimination tournament, hockey is just like that sometimes. You get big upsets. So
we'll see.
You see what happened last year. We were the number 1 team in the country, and UMass Lowell came in and beat us. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, and
just matters who gets hot at the right time.
Levi could be back for Northeast. I'm keeping TJ Semperfelser in net. Played very well against BC already. But we'll see how it goes. Northeastern's 10-6 and won the Hockey East. Coming off that 4-2 win, as I said, against UMass Lowell. Me and Mark got to see Julian Kislin's first goal as a Husky. It's actually his 4th year as a defenseman. Not a big offensive defenseman. He's very good defensively, very good mind for the game. We got to get that on video, which was sick. Saw a couple of goals. Sam Colangelo, Tommy Miller. Tommy Miller's first goal of the year, actually, which is pretty cool, too. And then Ty Jackson as well, got an empty netter. But me and Mark actually got the pleasure of meeting the whole Northeastern team after the game, which was sick. Jordan Harris was a class act. Sam Colangelo, Ada McDonough, Ryan St. Louis, we got to talk about his father actually getting the head coaching job for the Canadians, which was sick. We got to talk to Gunnar Wagon, Fontaine, the GOAT, and then also TJ Semperfelds, which was awesome, and then Jaden Struble. So very class act, stand-up guys, which was great to meet them. So it'll be a good game. I'm going to go 5-2 Northeastern on Friday and 4-2 on Saturday. I think if Levi's in net, as I said, he gives 7 goals in his last 4 periods, basically, to UMass Amherst, and they're a very good team. But if he's in net, I'm not saying I'm not confident in Northeastern, but I definitely think he might be a little rusty now that he hasn't played in just about 3 weeks. So got to keep TJ in net, I think. It'd be a good game, though. But,
yeah, should be good games either way. Looking forward to it.
And Dobbs given up 3 goals in his last 6 games. At least 3 goals in his last 6 games. So Northeastern's probably going to be lighting up shots on goal. They're going to be
the way he played in the Beanpot, though, I mean, he looked just as good as anyone else in the Hockey East. I mean, not not a lights out guy like the way Semperfelder played, obviously, but
always the coach.
He played like an average Hockey East goalie.
Yeah, it'll be a good game.
So
it'll be a good game, and then
can't be too frustrated with him.
He'll get shots on goal. Sam Colangelo, sophomore, he has 15 points his last 11 games after his injury that he got in November, December. But 20 points in 19 games for him. He's gonna be a big player to try to step back in and start scoring again. Obviously, he scored in just about every game except this last Beanpot final, but I'm sure he wants to score again. And then also Aiden McDonough's on a scoring drought. We need a goal from him. He missed an empty net in that UMass Lowell game, which was tough, but hopefully get him going, and should be a good one for Northeastern, I'm hoping. Shout out Mark Walsh again. We had a good time at both Beanpot games and also the UMass Lowell game. And then win both this weekend, Friday, Saturday. So 5 straight games for Northeastern hockey. Roll skis, baby. All right.
That'll be fun. All right, now we can get into Super Bowl talk. So last Sunday night, I'm sure everyone knows already, Super Bowl 56 went down in Los Angeles. The Rams versus the Bengals. The Rams took the game 23-20. I thought it was a pretty great game. Great halftime performance for sure. I was a big fan of that. I know a couple people thought it was a little much, and then some people absolutely loved it too. I thought it was great to watch. Honestly, a disappointing game for the Bengals. I thought they would come out with way more firepower on offense than they did. The way they looked against the Chiefs and the Titans the game before that, both of the second halves of those games, their offense is pretty much unstoppable. And for the Bengals in the second half, the only touchdown they ended up getting was that I think it was a 75-yard T. Higgins touchdown where he did get a face mask on Jalen Ramsey and went uncalled. So honestly, underwhelming second half from the Bengals for sure. I expected a lot more out of them. Joe Burrow, though, hung tough, even though he might have torn his ACL. We'll see the status of what's going on with his knee soon. I thought when he went down at first, I thought he was done for the game, but he didn't let the trainers take him into the tent and instead said, "No, I'm not leaving the game." He stayed in, didn't really get any chance to run at the end of the game, just because you could tell he had no mobility left, but stood in the pocket, threw the ball, and the O-line kind of collapsed towards the end. So I think that's the biggest need for the Bengals right now going into the offseason. But, a lot of positives to take away from the Bengals, especially the way Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins played, despite lackluster O-line performance towards the end of the game. And then on the Rams side of the ball, honestly, defensively, I thought they played solid. Aaron Donald had that big play at the end of the game, but beyond that, I thought he was a little bit underwhelming as well. And then on the offensive side of the ball, it was great to see Odell get a touchdown at the start of the game. And then, unfortunately, he had the ACL injury, which was tough to watch. He came back so far from being in Cleveland and struggling down there, and now he's a Super Bowl champ. So that was fun to watch. And then Cooper Kupp, too, got open all game. Burned Eli Apple at the end of the game. So that was fun to watch.
The Giants
Stafford as well had a big game, 3 touchdowns, 283 yards. So he was definitely deserving of that Super Bowl as well, I thought, the way he played, showing poise down the clutch.
Yeah, Stafford got his typical 2 picks, too. Luckily, none of them were too costly. They still win the game, so you don't really care about them. But you knew he was going to turn the ball over a little bit. Burrow actually didn't turn the ball over at all. He actually had a good game for what it was worth. 22 of 33 wasn't bad, especially with 260 yards and a touchdown. His offensive line held up. His offensive line held up in the first half, second half. They kind of fell apart, and Donald, 2 straight plays at the end. Ramsey was actually awful the whole game. I actually was a big fan of Ramsey. I've always been saying he was great. Mike Hurley may be right about that. I think he's overrated. He is overrated. Mike Hurley may be right about that he sucks. He gave 126 yards in the Super Bowl, which was ridiculous. I don't know
if you can count that T. Higgins touchdown there. How long was that? That was 75 yards.
Oh, he was in coverage. I understand there was a play with a face mask and all that, but they didn't call a couple no calls. Ramsey was ripping Jamar Chase in one of the plays that they didn't call, in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. So, there were a lot of no calls. The NFL must have said don't call many penalties, and that's why they didn't really come up until the last 2 minutes of the game. But that must have been the game plan of the NFL to say no penalties or whatever. But Ramsey was awful. He was the worst player on that Rams defense, and I've actually been very high on him. I was actually disappointed in how bad he played. I count that touchdown by T. Higgins as Ramsey, of course, even though it was a face mask. He let T. Higgins get by him regardless. T. Higgins was getting by him either way, so that was a tough play for him. But
I don't think he would have gotten by, but
T was in a desert at least. If you don't give him the touchdown, T's desert him. But Cooper Kupp, though, Super Bowl MVP, very deserving of that. 9 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown, I believe. Was 2 touchdowns he had, actually. But he was really good, though. That last touchdown was actually big. Obviously, Odell had that other touchdown, which is great. Did Cooper have 1 touchdown or 2? I think he had 1. 2. He had 2. Okay, 2 touchdowns, very good. 8 of 92 for 2 touchdowns, I think it was. And that last touchdown was huge. Obviously, they got an extra few plays with the penalties on the Bengals defense, which I don't know if I'd call them all, especially since you didn't call penalties.
I don't know if I would have called that first one on the, I can't remember his name, at the middle linebacker for the Bengals. Logan something.
Logan Wilson, I think it was.
He was grabbing the jersey a little bit, but I don't think it was, I get that it's a penalty, but I don't think it was enough to warrant a call, you know what I mean? He was right there the whole time. I thought that was a little bit of a weak call. The last 2 calls down the stretch were definitely deserving, though. But that first call really changed the game, I thought. I was a little frustrated with it, but, I can see how you can call that. There was obviously a little bit of contact. I just don't know if it was enough to make a big-time call like that when it's already 3rd and goal. And that changed the game for the Rams.
Can't change the game. But obviously the Rams' defensive line was a storyline for the whole game going into as the Bengals' offensive line versus that defensive line of the Rams. Obviously Aaron Donald got in 2 straight plays at the end, came up clutch, wanted himself to get a ring, and then also said before the game, Rodney Harrison reported that this could be Donald's last year. The NFL if they were to win. Same thing with McVay if they were to win. And Andrew Whitworth, I think everyone knew was retiring anyways, but McVay and Donald were reportedly going to retire if they were to win. Donald said today that he's going back. He's going to play another season during their...
I think he was just saying that, though, because everyone was chanting, let's have him for one more year. That was when he was up on stage.
I think he's going to play one more. I think he'll play one more.
I think he'll retire on top, but we'll see. I just think in a situation he wasn't going to say he was going to retire right there at the Super Bowl parade.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like him saying he was going to retire. At first, I thought I was like, oh yeah, maybe he will. But then I think he's only like 29 years old, 28 years old. I think he played another couple seasons if he wanted to, and he doesn't even have serious injuries.
Plenty of defensive players have done that though.
He doesn't have serious injuries. All those other guys did. Navarro Bowman and
still wears you
down. Luke Kuechly, Andrew Luck.
I mean, it's
all
the most physical
serious
position
injuries.
on the field. I mean, you can still get long-term.
I get that, but Donald's never had a big injury at all, if any. I don't think he's had any. It's my knowledge.
It's still a physical game that can, change the course of the rest of your life. So if he wants to retire early, I wouldn't blame him. Quit while you're ahead, and no better way to do it than right after the Super Bowl. I just think the way he was talking about it before, and then how badly he wanted to win this, you kind of see how emotional he was after the game. It seemed like he knew that he made it to the mountaintop, and this was it for him. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and to be honest, too, all the Defensive Player of the Years he's won, now being a Super Bowl champ, there's not really much left for him to prove. He's constantly in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. He's known as the best D tackle in football. So I really don't think there's anything left for him to prove now, and I think he knows that.
I think he'll play one more, maybe two, but it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, it's the 8th straight NFL game. That was a one-possession game down to the last minute, down to the last drive. As I always say, the NFL loves that. That's all they want. I'm sure they were psyched with all the views that they got from everyone obviously tuning in. The Super Bowl is obviously always a big thing, but knowing that every game in the NFL, just about every game in the playoffs, everything was a one-score game after the wild card round, everything the divisional round and after, everything was a one-score game down to the last second. Everyone's obviously glued to their seats watching. The NFL loves that. They obviously know they can get a lot of views, so I'm sure they were psyched about that. But Odell, as you said, played very well. Besides that injury, obviously, before it, he was 2 catches, 52 yards on the touchdown. I was psyched as a Giants fan. Never wish ill upon Odell. I know some Giants fans aren't fans of him. I don't know why. He was the only thing we really had to root for the 5 or 6 years he was in New York. He was our only thing that we really had. So happy for Odell. He finally got a ring. He deserved it more than anyone, especially all the adversity he's faced. And obviously didn't work out with the Giants and the Browns. It was a mess for him. So I'm happy everything worked out for him now. And I'm hoping he still gets some money. Obviously, I don't think he's going to play a full season next year. Probably play like 6 games maybe next year, and with obviously the rehabbing and everything.
Yeah, we'll see. I think there's a good chance he could be back by late October, early November next year.
I'd say like maybe November, yeah. I'd probably play 5 games. And if that wouldn't be a bad thing for him just to play.
8 months from now is October.
He's tore it already, though. That's the problem. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Which makes me think it's going to be longer. It could be like 10 months. So in that case, maybe miss the whole season. Who knows? But we'll see how it goes. The Super Bowl commercials are always a big thing. And this year, there weren't too many great ones. I like the Sopranos one. I was a fan of that one. And then also the football movies one where they showed Little Giants and Invincible and The Longest Yard and The Best of Times. And then they had Ronnie Lott, Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott tackling someone too I thought was sick. And they showed Peyton Manning, the David Tyree catch. I thought that was pretty cool. It was probably the best commercial in my eyes just because it really culminated football in movies and culminated football in real life. Put that all together, I thought that was sick. But not too many great commercials. There usually are some, but I think it's gone weak.
Beyond that, it was all kind of crypto technology. It was a lot of weird commercials, I thought. There was that one Coinbase one. It was just the QR code bouncing around in the corners for 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was odd. I mean, got everyone's attention, though. Everyone was saying, what's that?
Yeah, that was odd. But one thing that confused me actually was the Bengals season coming down to the line. They give him the ball to Samaje Perine on 3rd down and then throwing to him on 4th. I think Burrow just threw to him because that was the only thing he could see. But trying to give Samaje Perine the ball on 3rd and 1 with your season on the line, you're in the Super Bowl, dude, and you hand the ball to Samaje Perine. What are they thinking?
Mm-hmm.
What are they thinking?
Yeah, that was a tough play. And then throwing to him on
give
4th down, too.
Who cares? If they know
I don't know why he didn't try to dive for that ball either. Because, it would have been close to impossible to catch, but it was right there by his feet by the time it landed on the ground.
Yeah.
So.
I saw the other angle, and it was a little bit further from him. They turned to the Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels probably should have, told their, the broadcasters, the producers to at least turn the camera angle so you could see that back end because I guess, there was a lot of room in front of him, and the throw wasn't really that close. From the side end, it looked like he could have had it.
I think he also thought he didn't have the first down, so you can kind of tell by the way that he didn't want to go down and try to stay running. I don't think he realized that he was ahead of the first down marker already.
Yeah, it was tough, though.
On that same play, though, it was tough.
Him on the last play, though.
Outside, Jamar Chase burned Jalen Ramsey and was wide open about 50 yards downfield. But Joe Burrow just didn't have the time.
That's why I think Ramsey had a bad game. You look at that play, that could have been another 65, 70 yards on that, 60 yards on that.
I did say Ramsey
really bad game. Ramsey had a really bad game, I think, especially for a superstar like him. I've always been very high on him. I've never spoke negatively of him, but after that game,
I've always said he was overrated.
I kind of saw that he wasn't that great. But you had him at the top 5 in your defensive picks last week, though. We both did. As a top 5 player in the NFL on defense. But tough game for him. I don't know what happened, but clearly they weren't game planning for over-the-top players like T. Higgins, and then Jamar Chase probably would have won the game on that. But it was a tough game for the Bengals, but hey, they had a great season, a lot to look forward to, and obviously the offensive line is something they got to fix. maybe trades a couple of your assets. If I don't know in the draft some guys will be there at 31, but you still got to figure things out. And
yeah, they'll probably most likely have to go the free agent route. They need some experience up there.
Yeah.
I mean, all they really need is one or two more pieces in there. Maybe draft Zion Johnson from BC. I think he'd be a great pickup for that team. I think he's ready to play in the NFL. Yeah, right guard, hopefully. Yeah, he's turned a lot ahead. So, honestly, he could go higher than 31. I wouldn't be surprised to see him taken in the early 20s, somewhere around the 20s in the draft. But I don't see him falling anywhere further than the first few picks of the second round. So, he could be right there in the Bengals spot for the taking. I did see one mock draft where he's going 21 to the Pats, which would be super cool to see him play for New England. I've been a big fan of him. I think he's probably the best guard in the draft. That's what a lot of people are saying right now. So it'll definitely be really cool to see where he ends up.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I think I want him on the Giants at 37. If he's there, I want him, but see if he falls there. I'm not sure if he will. Be probably the border of end of first round, early second. Usually right where that break happens where the end of the first round comes, and then the beginning of the second round, people are always trading up for guys that should have been first round picks. So I'm sure some team maybe will trade up 33, 34 and try to get him. He's there at 37. Obviously, the Giants got to hammer that pick and get him, but see how that goes. I think he's a very good player. Obviously, after he transferred to BC, was a starter all 3 years, and it was great. Obviously, Adazio was a big fan of him.
Didn't give up a single sack this year.
Yeah,
which was impressive. So
he was elite. I think it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Probably the Combine will play a role in that. Played very well in the Senior Bowl, but the Combine will play at least some role in where he goes. Maybe he'll go from 32 to 30 and then to 25, depending on how he does in the Combine. He's definitely going to move up, I think, but depends on how much. Guys always do every.
Yeah, he just keeps turning heads every time. So
we'll see, but
excited to see where he ends up. Now let's move into some Celtics talk. So last Thursday we were talking about the trade deadline on the podcast. A couple of moves that I did not see coming at all. One being the Celtics acquiring Derek White from the Spurs. Despite the fact that we had to give up a decent amount with Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, a first-round pick, I really like the move. I think Derek White's a great piece to this team. He's a guy that when he gets the ball, he just makes a decision. He doesn't hold the ball and dribble and think about it. He just makes a decision and goes. He plays hard. Loose balls he still was on top of. He's a gritty defender. I think he really is someone that we need alongside Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who have turned into more of offensive weapons. I think he complements Smart in the backcourt perfectly. I think, we have the best defensive backcourt in the NBA right now. And that closing lineup that we've been playing of Smart, White, Tatum, Brown, Williams has been pretty much unstoppable. You see that the Celtics are winning 9 games in a row now. We beat the Sixers by 48 last night. That was a great game to watch. Everyone played really well. Tatum had 28, Jaylen had 29, and Derek White's been a glue guy. He had a little bit of an underwhelming shooting night last night, 11 points, 4 from 9 from the field. Actually not horrible, but he actually had a plus 41 when he was on the court, and that just shows how hard he plays, and he's always just trying to make the winning play, and that's what Popovich always talked. When Popovich would always talk about Derek White, he always spoke very highly of him, saying he's a winning player, and Ime Udoka, the Celtics coach, having coached under Pop, knew who Derek White was and knew what he was about, and that's why they brought him in. And I really think he's moved us into a contending spot, along with a couple other roster changes we've made, including trading for Daniel Tice, who also had a solid night last night. He played a good amount of minutes, 20, scored 5 points, 4 blocks, which is impressive as well. So great to see him back in green.
I think I wouldn't say we're a contending team yet. I still think we have some ways to go. I think if we play the Sixers in a 7-game series with James Harden healthy, I don't think it'd be that result. I don't think it'd be that easy. I don't think the Sixers.
We wouldn't win by 50.
I'd still favor the Celtics. I'd favor the Sixers. Embiid playoffs. I don't think we'd. I mean, we have in the past, but I don't think this year.
We've beaten James Harden's Rockets plenty of times with the same group.
I'm talking Embiid and him though. Embiid's averaged 35 a game over the month of January.
Our defensive backcourt though is different now. You got Smart and Derek White.
Tatum never gets back on defense. Jaylen.
But if we're talking just Embiid and
I think I'm saying as a team though, that team likes to run the court when they're hot. Sixers obviously didn't yesterday because they got blown out, but they do like to run the court when they are hot.
I still think the Celtics and the Sixers.
I still think the Sixers are the better team. I don't know, but Derek White, yeah, he was a good acquisition. Still in shot great from the field, 40% right now in his 3 games with the Celtics. Averaged 13 a game right now with the Celtics, but I think it was a good acquisition. I didn't want to trade Romeo Langford, even though obviously. That's what it costed. If that's what the cost is, obviously Celtics going to do that. But
I think it was the right time to trade Romeo. As much as I think he's going to be a great player one day, I just don't think
he's great too.
Sitting behind Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, he's never going to turn into that player that he could be. Obviously, it would hurt to see pop tournament to the next Kawhi or something that some people are speculating. But I mean, either way, he'll be a solid two-way player in San Antonio, and it stinks to see him leave. But I think the value that we got from Derek White makes it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Derek White. I do think, though, when he shot 2 of 10 in that Hawks game, when the Celtics start doing their, 0 of 18s, him, Tatum, and Brown are just going to be throwing shots up and could be ugly.
He never takes bad shots, though, because he
was open on a lot of them. He's going to make those, though. Come on, 2 of 10 from 3. I could do better. He's going to hit at least 3 or 4 or 5 of those.
But everyone has an off night. So, I mean, what has he played? 3-4 games now? So, can't really read too much into one game. Because he's 5
of 20 from 3 right now.
Even with the Spurs that have had a horrible offensive year, he still shot, I want to say, 32%, and that's been better in years past when they've been better. And I think putting him alongside, a better starting lineup of Tatum and Brown, he's not going to be the focal point of the defense, so he'll have a better time getting open looks. And we've already started to see that in some of these games, against the Sixers, Hawks, and the shots will start falling.
Yeah, I mean, 5 of 20 from 3, though, that's a concern, especially with the Celtics. They've been hot right now shooting, but, you're not going to stay this hot all season. You're going to have your 0 of 18 nights, and we had against the Rockets before, and even last week we had a game we were 0 of 18 from 3 at one point. We ended up still winning, or 0 of 18 from a field, whatever it was.
Those nights happen, but, I mean, in the last, 7 games, we've only given up more than 100 points once, and that was to the Nuggets. Our defense has actually been stellar the last few games. Everyone's been playing a little bit harder. We've been making more hustle plays. And I think the acquisition of Derek White has played a role in that for sure.
I still worry. I don't think we're going to beat the Nets in a 7-game series, the Sixers, Bucks. I don't think we're good enough to beat any of them. So I'm not going to say we're a contender because right now I'd favor all 3 of those teams against us. Which
I would favor the Nets. The Nets with Simmons. If Simmons comes back and plays how he could and, gets over how he played in the playoffs last year, obviously the Nets would be the favorite there. Bucks would be the favorite as well as the defending champs. Sixers, though, I really don't think they're all that. I mean, Embiid and Harden will be a great duo together, but still, I personally think, Harden's obviously a great player, but I think he's a little overrated. I've always said that. I don't think he's going to be ready for, those big-time moments in the playoffs. We haven't really seen that before, besides when he had Chris Paul on his team in 2018. You saw the way that he played against the Celtics last year in the playoffs. He was abysmal next to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant really carried the Nets through the whole playoff series. And we've always given Philly the business in the playoffs. We played them in the bubble and swept them. We played them in the Eastern Conference semis in 2018, beat them 4-1. And that was with Simmons and Embiid that year. I'm not too worried about Philly just yet. They've had the upper hand on us most of the regular season this year, but that's how it usually goes for whatever reason. And then once playoff time comes, Embiid's always been the only guy out there for them. And we'll see what happens with Harden, but I wouldn't expect him to totally change the game for Philly.
Another thing I don't think we're a contender. The 9 teams we've played are all, for the most part, besides the Heat, are a good team, and the Sixers, the Nets without everyone, they're not good. The Nuggets, but you beat the Hornets, the Heat,
beat the Hawks.
Pelicans. The Hawks are not a good team either. The Sixers were good, but obviously last night they didn't have a great night. The Nets, without everyone, they're not good. The Pistons aren't good. Hornets aren't good. Magic aren't good. That's the thing.
Still, we've had some off nights, like last week, Detroit. We had a pretty poor shooting night, and then even the Hawks last week, we didn't shoot well at all, and our defense really held it together.
But you're not going to play those teams in the playoffs. Those 9 games, you really only played 3 or 4 good teams.
No, but we would play teams like more like the Sixers, Nuggets. Even Magic could be a low seed team. The way they've been playing the last few games. But definitely the Sixers and Nuggets. Hawks as well have shown some flashes in the last couple of weeks.
I'd say Heat, Nuggets, and Sixers are the only good teams we beat. But the Nets, without everyone, they're not a good team.
But still, stringing all those wins together in a row, no good team would be able to do that, even against bad teams.
I'm not saying it's not a good thing to win 9 in a row. Of course, you want to win 9 in a row, especially no matter what your schedule is. I just think it might overrate the Celtics a little bit. They might think they're going to win the NBA Finals now. Just keep winning games.
I'm not saying we're getting moved as
but they don't
the NBA championship favorite, but I definitely think we're going to go up. Hopefully, see us turn into a 3 or 4 seed and, actually be able to contend for the East.
Still 6 right now. We moved up.
2 weeks ago, probably 2-3 weeks ago as of today, I had no faith in us getting into the Eastern Conference Finals, but the game has changed completely.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, though. But, we beat the Pistons, Magic, Hornets, Nets. They're all below us in the seedings right now.
Nuggets, Sixers.
The Nuggets, the Nuggets are 32 and 20. They're good, but Nuggets and Sixers and the Heat are the only good teams we beat. So that's the reason I was
still impressive wins, though, in all 3 in a row. We never would have seen this a month ago, so
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
The culture of the team is different now.
We could be a little overrated once the time comes. We're going to have a cold night. Who knows? The Pistons.
I don't disagree that we could be a little overrated winning 9 in a row, but still got to celebrate that and just enjoy where we are right now. It's been a tough season, so glad to see 9 wins in a row.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I do think we have a little ways to go for being a contender, but see how it goes. As I've said before, I don't think you're going to win any championship with Tatum and Brown together on the same team. You got to pick one, and I'd pick Jalen, but we've had that argument before, but I don't think we're going to win with these two guys.
I think you just have to build the right team around them, and everyone's starting to realize that.
5 years.
We've never got actual pieces to sit around them. What we had?
Tried, Gordon Hayward tried, Al Horford tried.
We don't need another scorer. That's the issue.
Terry Rozier.
The issue is we've always had scorers next to them, and now we're adding pieces like Daniel Tice and Derek White, guys that you don't need to have the ball, give the ball to the whole game. Are defensive-minded players that fit well within the Celtics system, and I think Derek White's a great acquisition for that reason. Not just because I think he's a guy that's going to shoot lights out or lock someone up, but he's a perfect fit in our offense and defense.
Yeah, I think obviously Popovich, that was his favorite player too. Must have been hard to get rid of him, but I think obviously Popovich, knowing this was his last year, he probably wanted him to be able to go to a team where he can actually play on a good team. So, or at least a better team than the Spurs. Obviously, the Spurs were really strong. But they beat us this year twice, which
that was a tough game. I was at that one in January. Inconsistent shooting night all night long, and then all of a sudden we're down 2 points with 6 or something seconds left. Spurs inbound the ball. Jaylen Brown steals it, goes all the way down the court, and missed the layup as time expires. Super frustrating game. We were below 500 at that point, too, so glad to see us turn the season around so far.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Walsh got a quick text, and he said, people overrated the Patriots for their winning streak against bad teams, which was true. I mean, I was saying here live on air when they won that 5-game winning streak when they played the Browns without Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb, and then played the Titans at the right time without Derrick Henry. They were avoiding a lot of the good teams at the right time. They were playing a lot of the teams and avoiding all their best players at the right time. I think the Celtics might be in a similar thing right now where they're getting hot, playing teams that aren't that great. Obviously, when it comes playoff time, April, May, that's when things matter most, but I still think the Celtics team has a ways to go.
Still good just to build confidence for the team, start getting some wins, and consistently too. That's been the biggest issue, is consistently picking up wins. So it's good to see at least, just as a confidence boost at the least.
Yeah, I mean,
regardless if you think these are bad teams or not. Win against teams like the Nuggets, the Heat, and the Sixers are no easy feat. So especially all in a row.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting. But now we can move on to some BC basketball talk. At a tough loss against Duke on Saturday at Conti Forum. It was a great game, though. Electric. Obviously, Duke fans always travel well, just like Clemson football fans. But
good showing from BC Duke, too, surprisingly. I actually thought it was closer to 50-50 in that stadium compared to the Syracuse game last week, which was a lot of orange in the stands. Students really showed out this game. Both sides of Conti behind the baskets were packed. It was a lot of fun. Obviously a tough game, losing 72-61 in that one. Paolo Banchero, probably the unanimous number 2 player in this coming NBA draft. He did what he was going to do, scored 16 points, 14 rebounds. We didn't really have an answer for him. BC tried to throw a lot of different defenders on him, like DeMar Langford, TJ Bickerstaff before he got hurt. Just everyone on the team took some turn at guarding him, but he's just so big, so athletic, and has great range too, so it's just impossible to keep up with him. So we knew he was going to get his, and he did. I thought the first half was honestly great. We kept it a 2-point game most of the first half. Duke started to pull away a little bit at the end of the first half, taking a 9-point lead into the half, but really considering the way that we shot, let me pull it up. We had shot 8% from 3. That was abysmal. And only losing by 11. I mean, it just shows, I think, Earl Grant's culture and how hard this team plays, and that defense comes first and then everything else follows. That's really what I love to see about this team.
Yeah, so. I think Duke fans travel. I wouldn't say it was 50. I'd probably say like 30-70 because Duke had both upper sections up top with the general admission as they had both of those filled. And they travel well. I mean, they got 30-70, 25-75 would actually still be okay for BC, I guess, since considering Duke's actually a good team.
Up against probably the most popular basketball team.
They travel well. BC's now 1-4 in their last 5. We knew this was going to happen once they played ACC games. They played Holy Cross in Dartmouth and Fairfield.
These aren't easy ACC games, though. If we look at their schedule, we lost to Duke, Syracuse, Virginia, UNC, and then we beat Pitt. Those are all top-tier ACC teams, so it's not... And we also played all these teams close, too, losing by 11, 12, 9, and 11. So.
Lost the loss, though, at the end of the day. That's how I feel.
But this is much different than a Jim Christian team that would have lost by 40 in a couple of these games.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're going to end up probably the 6-win record in the ACC, which actually be all right. I know we have a lot of ACC games left.
Yeah, and I think that's a win for this team if we can get 6 ACC wins because of all the players that left.
So
new coach. We had guys like Jay Heath, TJ Felder leaving the team, who were 2 big starting pieces for us in years past. Then not really bringing in any highly touted recruits besides Gianni Thompson, who hasn't really played much. Played a little bit during the Duke game, guarded Paolo Banchero for a little bit. I think he's going to be a good piece in the future. Seems like a solid player on offense, and I think defense is a work in progress for him, but that should definitely become. He has a good frame at 6'8", decently athletic, so I'm excited to see him develop and progress in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I said at the start of the season, too, that I said I think we can get to 6 or 7 wins, and that'll be good for this team. You know, this team was unanimously written as the worst team in the ACC before the season started. All the preseason polls had us last. So I think even coming close in a lot of these games and then beating teams like Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech, and Clemson is something to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, shooting 8% from 3. They only took 12 threes. They usually take more than that. Took 12 threes, 1 of 12 from 3. Actually, impressively, we had more steals, 11 steals compared to 5, and then the 9 turnovers we had, they had 13.
Yeah, we forced a lot of turnovers, actually. The defense played really hard.
Got to see Daniel Jones' brother play, Ashton Bates Jones. Got 7 minutes on the court. Had a couple rebounds, which is pretty cool, too. And also Coach K's last game at Conti Forum. So, obviously, Duke fans traveled well. They traveled well because, obviously, it's farewell tour.
Yeah, he got a nice standing ovation at the end.
But I do think, I think when BC basketball played, it's probably similar to BC football, where you play easier teams at the beginning of the year. Everyone thinks, oh, you know, probably going to be a better team this year, which we've improved, don't get me wrong, but I think this team has its ways to go in the ACC, obviously. We're going to struggle.
We took a step in the right direction
the next couple of years, and then maybe 2 years from now, maybe make a difference. But did take a step in the right direction, but I do think when we beat Holy Cross and Dartmouth and Fairfield, everyone thinks, you know, we could be really good this year when we're playing, group of 5 teams, if that. I mean, I don't think Fairfield even.
I wouldn't say that just off those 3 teams. But then we
BC
played
football. We were 4-0, and everyone thought we were in the national championship. You know that.
Yeah,
everyone thought we were winning.
BC football is different. But this, I mean, you play Dartmouth. It doesn't really mean anything if you win. If you lose, that's a different story. But if you win, it's just expected.
I think playing easy teams at the beginning of the year helped our record. Obviously, now that we're 9-14, if you don't play those 3 easy teams, and you actually play a couple tougher teams. I mean, probably be like 6-16.
Most ACC teams out of conference games at the start of the season are just whoever you can get to play you.
Yeah, I mean, the bigger teams are going to win no matter what. I mean, BC.
So we still had some big games after that. Twice against Rhode Island, and then game against Utah, South Florida,
Albany.
That was tough.
Tough loss there. But
yeah, we were at that one at Conti.
I do think we've improved. I do think we've improved as a team, but I do think it'll take a couple years for the record to show that maybe. But
yeah, I think
9-14 right now is okay, I guess, considering you're in the ACC playing.
Just the way this team fights is a lot different than it did in the past. I mean, not losing by more than 12 points in their last 4 ACC games against top tier teams. That's definitely a step in the right direction because we saw games with Jim Christian last year. We lost to Syracuse by 40-something. That was really hard to watch. This team, they stay alive in every game somehow despite bad shooting performances, even against Duke. What did you say? We took 12 threes and
12,
made one?
1 of 2, yeah. 1 of 12.
And we had Brevin Galloway. What did he shoot? He must have taken 8 threes or something. Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, if he played like he did against Clemson, even if he had 3 3-pointers, it's a totally different game. And I think moving forward, I don't know.
He's looked really cold.
Either way, I respect the confidence, and obviously, if we had a shooter, that was consistent in making his shots, I think that would make all the difference for this team. And moving into the future with 2 4-star recruits next year, one of them DJ Hand, who's a prolific scorer, great shooter. I think he can make a big difference in the court next year. And shooting is something BC's lacked for a long time, so I think the addition of that, him moving forward, is something Earl Grant knows and BC fans as a whole know is something we need. So I think the way we've been playing is definitely a step in the right direction because, with a lack of talent, with Jay Heath and CJ Felder leaving, the one thing you can guarantee is defensive effort, and we've definitely seen that this year.
Since that Clemson game, though, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a player this cold as Brevin Galloway is right now. And the following game, he was 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, 1 of 9 from the field, 1 of 7, 0 of 4, 2 of 8, 2 of 14, 3 of 8. He shoots 7% from 3 over his last 7 games, which is wild. I've never seen a player that cold, I don't think, ever, really. He's averaged 4 points in his last 7 games after obviously playing really well in that Clemson game, then even playing pretty good in that game right before Georgia Tech and Pitt. Had 18 in that Georgia Tech game, then 18 in that Clemson game, and has only...
Yeah, he was feeling himself those games. But then again, he's still dealing with his torn meniscus. You can see the way he moves around the court. He's a little bit slow on defense.
26 points in his last 7 games. Wow.
Shooting can definitely use an improvement. He's an extremely streaky shooter. But then again, he's still the heart and soul of this team. I think all the guys love him. You look at his Instagram, everyone's still commenting, keep shooting, bro. we love you, that kind of thing.
I want him to keep shooting. If he's going 0 of 5, 0 of 7, 0 of 4, 0 of 3, 2 of 7, 1 of 12.
You need someone to take shots like that, though.
You need good shots, though. He takes a lot of them one-footed sometimes and off balance.
No, not that bad. The Duke
he
game,
takes off balance ones. He did. And
probably 6 of those 8 shots were good looks.
Syracuse game took multiple off balance threes. Multiple.
He takes a couple questionable ones, but the majority of his shots are open shots.
I like his energy, but
we've seen him light it up before. And the way he played at Charleston, too, we know he's a shooter. It's just...
I mean, I've seen him play. He's
very streaky.
This, but I don't think I've ever seen him play this cold 7% from 3.
Mm-hmm. So that's why he's got to keep his confidence up there. He knows where he's been. We know where he's been. And it's just a matter of time before he turns it back around and, helps us start winning games again. He's actually in the starting lineup tonight. We'll see how he's doing. BC's actually beating Notre Dame right now, 41-39 with a minute and a half left. He got the starting nod tonight. He has 6 points, 2 for 6 from the field right now. So, I mean, a little bit of a step up from Duke. So we'll see how that game goes. We'll keep you guys updated. Right now, both Jaden Zachary and Micaiah Langford are leading the team with 10 points. And then on the Notre Dame side of the ball, Goodwin has 18 points. And actually, Prentice Hubb, the leader of that team, has 0 right now. So I wonder who's locking him up right now.
Yeah, he had 15 against BC when they last played at Conti at the beginning of the year. BC actually won that game by 16, which is a big win then. Notre Dame was only 3-4 then, and now they've become a really good team in the ACC. I think
they're an ACC contender right now. They're 11-3. They beat Kentucky, too, which is a huge out-of-conference win.
But we'll see how it goes. We do have some time. We have about 13 minutes left, so anyone wants to call in, give me a text at 617-596-3150, 617-596-3150. Let me know if you want to call in. We've ran through everything we've already had plans, so we'll obviously keep covering the BC game. But if you want to call in, talk about anything we've already discussed, or give us any questions you've got, call in, let me know.
Absolutely, yeah, we'd love to have you guys on. We can keep talking some BC hoops, though. I want to spend a minute just to talk about some of the recruiting Earl Grant's done. I've been super psyched, been looking into that, and I really think this program's taking the right step towards the future. 2 big names coming into school next year, one being DJ Hand, who I talked about earlier, prolific scorer. I definitely think will help the shooting of the team. The other being, this is why I want to bring this up today, he was just nominated for Mr. Basketball in Minnesota, Prince of Legbe out at Minnehaha Academy. Absolutely elite athlete, great defender, can jump out of the gym, super athletic, super excited to have a guy like him back on the Heights. Because we've kind of lacked athletic small forwards over the last couple of years, and I definitely think he'll be a big step up at that position. So definitely excited to see that moving forward.
Yeah, see how it goes. Obviously, recruiting is a big thing, especially in the ACC. You got to be a good recruiter. But Mike Hurley said he's interested in calling in, so we'll see what we got from him.
Let's go.
Could use a good one from the guru, sports guru. Mike Hurley's this might be his 3rd or 4th call in now. Always a pleasure having him come on. As I said, we ran through everything we already did. So if he wants to discuss anything we already ran through, give us any questions. Then we got Mark Walsh calling it after. We'll run it. We got a couple call-ins. We're gonna come with Mike Hurley first, and then we'll go Mark Walsh for the end. Let's go.
Sounds good.
Call Mike Hurley right now. See how it goes. FaceTime audio. Here we go. There he is. Mike Hurley. Here he is, the sports guru, calling back in. Talks everything sports kid, knows everything college, knows everything professionally. Here he is. How we doing, Mike?
What's going on, Mike?
All right. What's up, guys? What's up? I was just volunteering in case somebody else was stepping up, but
thank you.
Mark stepping up to the plate finally.
Hey, he's coming in right after you. We'll give you some time. What do you think?
Yeah, so easy take. I've heard. I think Zach was saying that he thought Jalen Ramsey was the best cornerback in the NFL. Obviously, long-standing opinion of mine is that he's massively overrated. Team traded 2 first-round picks for the guy, and all he did was get dusted on national TV in front of 118 million people all day.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of him.
I mean, the position as a whole is down across the NFL. There's no more Champ Baileys out there, but that guy just, oh my goodness.
You're not a fan of him. I know you've never been a fan of him, though.
I don't know. What they pay for Von Miller? That was the guy. He got another couple sacks.
Von Miller had a big game. He had 2 sacks, yeah.
He's going to be a Patriot this year, I heard, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, all right. Easy
Can't
there.
wait.
Easy. Judon, man. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Crazy.
You're dreaming there.
Neglected the bees. The bees are in some murky waters now.
Moshin, let's hear it.
He's been out for a few. He's appealing his suspension. Probably won't have any luck there, but Bergeron's supposed to be back next game, so hopefully the power play can actually wake up.
Yeah, they need that going.
Yeah, they need some energy on offense.
Looking even better than Septemfeld.
Easy there. You know TJ Septemfeld is the GOAT. Relax.
What happened? He went to a shootout. I think it was the 9th shooter against Igor Shesterkin, who had a questionable trip to the medical room there. He's supposed to be 15 minutes in the quiet room after a concussion. He came out after about 2.5.
Uh-oh. They're breaking protocol. Uh-oh.
So Swayman, I think, hindsight 2020 on Rask. Looks like Rask did him a favor, let him take the spotlight back.
Yeah, no. How do you think the Bruins are going to do in the second half of the season? Obviously, the All-Star break just happened.
Big deadline. I think you got to trade and go all in. Trade all the young guys to get some horses. JT Miller and get
Canucks. Hey.
Pluck a guy out. Vegas they got some cap issues. They're trying to bring Eichel back. I think he's playing tonight.
What about Gaudette?
But he makes Gaudette.
Get him in.
Gaudette is going to be a lot.
Get him in. Oh, you get him for anything. Yeah, why not? Get him in.
He's going to be like DeBrusque. He's cheaper or something.
Oh, he's better than he's been playing better than DeBrusque. You even have him in fantasy. You have him in fantasy, so you know he's nice.
Yeah, I do have him in fantasy. He had 5 games 1 week, so. But
yeah, he's been good though. He had a good run, a point streak. 3 or 4 games straight. Assist, goal, something like that.
What? We said they robbed him of a goal 1 game.
Yeah, they did. I count that as a goal in my eyes.
But he got a couple of goals that week, so it's pretty good for him. But I think he's playing top line in Ottawa. He's cheap. They'll probably keep him. I don't think he's going to move.
I think you gotta at least give it the idea. At least explore, see if you could get him. I mean, it's a hometown kid. Why not?
Left shot defenseman and hopefully a centerman. Then you can put Howlett down on the third line.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. What are the Bruins gonna do with their defense? Though, didn't you say before we need another defenseman?
Oh, we need a D-man. McAvoy holds down the right side. Then he's got Kylo, but they need someone on the left. We just need somebody on that left side.
Definitely. Hopefully you can call in. Hopefully you can call back in when they make a good trade.
Maybe he's got some genius takes.
Who, Mark Walsh?
Yeah.
I wish we could do. I don't know how it works, the FaceTime audio thing, but one day I want to see if you can do a group one. We'll get you and him both in the same one.
Yeah, get multiple people on one.
No, you good.
Mackey fan, right?
Who? Yeah, he likes McAvoy. He does. Mark Walsh is a big McAvoy fan. He's a big Huskies fan too, Northeastern. So he won't like that TJ Semtenfeld to take by you because he's the GOAT. Everyone knows that.
That's cool. Yeah,
Easy. Semtu's an unreal. 94 of 98 saves. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Skis, dude. Anyways, though, Mike, thank you. All right, oh my God, I'm gonna stop. You know that these red ones are filthy. You know the red ones are filthy. We already talked about how nasty Northeastern jerseys are. You even said they were nice. You said they were nice. Anyways, Mike, thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. We'll get to Mark Walsh real quick, see if he takes some of the Bruins or whatever he's got. But thank you for calling in, Mike. Always appreciative of you calling in. The Guru.
On to dispute the takes next week.
All right. Let's see how it goes. All right, have a good one, Mike. Chase, thank you for calling in. Bye-bye. This is the sports guru, Mike Hurley, calling in. Always a pleasure having him come on. As I said, he knows everything sports, so having him come in is always a great asset. Now we got Mark Walsh, see what he has to say. Let's go. Here he is, calling him. Here he is, Mark Walsh calling in from Dorchester, Massachusetts. How are we doing, Mark? What's going on?
What's going on, Mark?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to call in, talk about the Bees. I heard you guys chatting before I called. So I actually have some statistics about Mike Hurley's point about thinking we need to prioritize bringing in a D-man. I think we don't really have a big name at that position besides McAvoy. And I can see like that had been a problem for a while. But right now we're actually top 10. I think we're number 8 in like defensive efficiency in the league. We rank really high, and I think we're number 8 in goals allowed per game. Like we allow the 8.
Yeah, 8 threes. Yeah, I mean Swayman's been great. 2.15 a game. He's been giving up, so it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And then I saw something too to the Swayman point. I totally agree. He's an absolute stud. I guess through 30 games, he has a better save percentage than Marc-Andre Fleury's first 30 games.
Wow.
Dominic Hasek, obviously an all-time goalie, his first 30 games. Swayman's got a better save percentage than those guys. I know there were a few more names on that list. I can't remember off the top of my head. I saw that earlier. Swayman made his 30th start last night, and he was rock solid. So I didn't see why they sent him down to the AHL earlier in the year. I'm happy he's back. Obviously sad that Chuka went out the way he did, and that's obviously another story. But I also agree they got to go all in at the trade deadline. I think you send everybody except for Fabi and Lysell, who we just drafted in the first round. Give them the first round of this year.
Why not?
Whatever you need to bring in a top performing guy who's going to get us on the board.
Might need you out there, kid, in a draft pick. Going, hey, Jack Hughes from Northeastern. He's a sender. You can use him. Why not? But we got Mike Hurley shooting back here. He said because of the goaltending in Bergeron, which he agrees with you, but he said the goaltending in Bergeron have been a big factor in why the defense has been playing very well. That's why they're 9th ranked, he said. Or that's why Swayman's at 9th ranked, he means. But yeah, he agrees with you on that point too. But I think for depth too, it's never a bad thing to have more defensemen. We saw that year we traded Johnny Boychuk just to do it. And then everyone gets hurt, and you're screwed, you know. So the depth.
That screwed us in the playoffs last year. You lost Kevin Miller, you lost Carlo. Our right side was so weak, we just got absolutely exposed by the Islanders. I think if Carlo's in that series, could have went differently. Obviously, there were a few close games in there. The last game of the series didn't go well for the Bees. You know, heartbreaker. But
absolutely.
You know,
we've always
I
known that.
definitely think that's a really good point. You know, health wise, you want to be able to have guys step in. You know, play the role. Eat minutes in the playoffs and, you know, step up when you need them to most. And I think a guy like JT Miller,
that's what he said, JT Miller.
That's a high-performing guy this year. He's doing great. Another Canuck, Connor Garland, who
your boy.
I've always been a big fan of. I think his 5-on-5 generating scoring chances is something the Bruins could have used years ago. I don't know why they didn't just splurge and get him. He was also a 5th-round draft pick. Happy he got his chance in Arizona. They sent him away to Vancouver, and I heard they're already shopping him after less than half a season with the team. He'd be a great addition, I think, too.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
From Situate, Mass. He'd fit right in with this.
You've always been a big fan of him for years now, and Matty Ice as well has always been a big fan too. So I always know it's been a name you've been wanting on the Bruins. And then Mike Hurley also said the Canes dropped 20 goals on us in 3 games. Their only goal was King Burge. So he thinks we need defensemen. He also thinks JT Miller as well. So interesting viewpoint, same as you. The Bruins need to just stack up, get another defenseman, why not for depth, or to get a good one. JT Miller's a very good player too. And then he also said Lawson Krause from Arizona, decent wing, 5-on-5 producer. So see how they do with that. Obviously Arizona, you would tell me that now they're going to play at Arizona State. So that was news to me. Mark Walsh broke that news to me on the way back from UMass Lowell, which is interesting. They're playing at Arizona State now, the Coyotes. So.
Yeah, that franchise, they just need to move. I don't know why they're so committed to the Arizona hockey market. It just
doesn't work.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out. That move isn't going to do anything for them.
They got to get out of there. They need Mark Walsh in there to set the order straight. Lay down the law, kid. They could use you in there.
Yeah, they definitely. I think they just gotta bite the bullet and relocate. They're just trying too hard to make something happen that hasn't been there in years. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how things go. Maybe a year or two, because I think they signed at least with Arizona State 2 years or something, 3 years.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I can't see them staying in Arizona that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't either.
I mean, they probably just want to save money. I guess that's what it's about. But you think an NHL, any professional team would have the money to spend to stay in their own arena. It just doesn't make sense not paying the bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you can't stay in your own arena, you may as well just move to a bigger market.
Yeah, were you going to make money just jersey sales?
A city like Atlanta that used to have an NHL team.
Freshes.
You could go back there.
Absolutely. I mean, it worked out for the Vegas Knights too. We had a lot of money off that. So
the Kraken, that's a good market for them.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, there's no team in the West like that. Yes, Seattle, a new team there. So having new teams in the West always makes more money. If you think Arizona would be making at least something, you know what I mean, just because West Coast and all that. But I guess it makes sense that they don't, because no one cares about hockey. They just care about going out in the nice weather. So that's a problem. You know what I mean? And also football, big thing having it be. Obviously the Arizona Cardinals are really good, and then obviously the Suns have been hot too. So I guess they're overshadowed by how good those teams are, which doesn't help.
Yeah, that's definitely, they're definitely overshadowed in that market. I don't know why nobody really gravitates to hockey in the region, but they're still committed to it, and we'll see how it pans out. But
absolutely
facing some big problems out there.
Absolutely. Hey, one more second though. Give us your quick prediction scores. Northeastern Friday, Saturday. Here a quick prediction. BC Northeastern. What do you think?
I'll say BC at Northeastern Friday night. I'll go more of a high scoring matchup. I'll do 5-4 Northeastern.
Okay.
And Saturday night at BC, I'll take Northeastern 2-1.
All right, I like it. We need a Jordan Harris goal at BC for the payback on that hit from Casey Carew. We need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, roll skis. But hey, Mark, thank you so much for calling in. Always a pleasure you calling in, truly, and having your insight about the Bruins and Northeastern was a blast. So thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Mike.
Looking forward to this weekend.
Mark.
Hey, you're the GOAT. Take it easy. Have a good one. Bye-bye, Mike. Mark.
I don't know how Mike just came out.
You're making me mess up the names. You're saying Mike.
It's 8 o'clock. It's getting late.
But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, it'll be a big game for Northeastern and BC. We're excited to pay attention to that. But having Mark call in is a blast. Definitely check out his music.
Yeah, it's always good to have either of them call in.
Mark Walsh Music, Spotify, and Apple Music. Definitely listen in. Always a pleasure having him come on, as I said. But definitely look at his music. He's one of the best around, if not the best. Him and Fat Hosey 1 and 2.
For sure, yeah.
Mark Walsh 1A, Fat Hosey 1B. There you go. Those are the two best. So definitely tune in.
Yeah, with that, we're going to wrap up another week of the Playbook. Thank you guys so much for listening again. We're having a blast talking about this. It was great to recap the Super Bowl, Celtics, hockey, all of that. So we look forward to next week. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for calling in and getting Mike Hurley and Mark Walsh. As I said, was great. We'll be back Wednesday, February 23rd, 7-8 p.m. We'll recap both BC Northeastern hockey games. Probably talk more Celtics. Hopefully the win streak continues. And now obviously the All-Star break's coming. So I think this is our last game for the All-Star breaks. Hopefully we keep it. Yeah. Get 10 wins. Will be nice.
Big game tonight. Big BC basketball game too.
BC basketball too. We'll be back. We'll recap those.
Basketball.
Quick shout out, Mike Hurley, Mark Walsh. Thank you guys for calling in again. Shout out my family for listening in. And shout out the O'Malley's. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Appreciate it. Stay safe and well.